Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. The next guest is a Mexican-American artist looking to give voice to Latin queer people in the community. Her sound is culturally diverse, ranging from folk pop to canción ranchera and cumbia norteña. She's performed in different parts of the world and appeared on renowned stages such as Lincoln Center, Joe's Pub, and the Highline Ballroom, and that's just to name a few. And so now she's here with us to tell us more about the motivation behind her music. Please welcome Renee Goust.
Hi, Rhina. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being bold.
Yes.
I love that.
It's the time to be bold. I don't think we have time for anything else now.
Yeah, well, right now I think it's important for us to continue exercising being a voice for inclusivity.
Absolutely.
And just embracing each other's differences. So I just love the fact that you're okay with us introducing you the way I did in being a voice for the Latin queer. So why is that important for you to bring into the light?
I grew up in the border between Mexico and the States. Actually, my house was in Nogales, Mexico, and my school was in Nogales, Arizona. And I feel like in that part of the world and in many parts of the world, there seems to be like a single note message going out to people. And I felt like growing up, I wasn't really represented in the media. This is before the internet, by the way.
Right.
So as a teenager, I always wanted somebody to speak for me, and I could never find that person. And so I hope, at least, even though I'm an indie artist, I hope to be that for anyone. And then I feel like that's kind of my mission, actually, as an artist.
Well, you know, I just saw the Broadway musical, The Prom.
Yes.
And it sounds like a similar story. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's about a young lady who lives in Indiana. I think it's Indiana. I hope it is. Anyway, but the point is like it's part of America that doesn't really identify with the differences.
I feel like in New York, there's a lot of privilege in that regard, even though obviously there's still a lot of like discrimination. But if you go elsewhere into like Arizona, for example, it's a lot harder to grow up queer and even to grow up Mexican and grow up Latinx, you know? And so I try to bring that into my music. And part of my new mission right now is to create a new cancionero, if you will. How would you say cancionero in English? Like a new repertoire, if you will, of like the ranchera genre and like the cumbia genre, because usually they're really kind of misogynistic genres.
Yes.
And so I want to write music that is inclusive, but that is also in those genres. And I want to say, you know, Latin people can also be this.
Yeah, and you know, I love it, right? I also read in your bio that you sang or worked with one of the women from Flor de Toloache.
Yes.
And they're like really phenomenal, that group, in their style of messaging, right? Because they're singing mariachi, but they're not singing mariachi. They're taking all these, I guess, pop songs and creating a different style for them, and also being an all-female group is kind of like in the same realm of what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned that because just this past Wednesday, 2 days ago, I performed again with Mireya Ramos of Flor de Toloache. And you know, it's a great community actually, the Latinx music community here. We really support each other. We had this show on Wednesday with all women. We have another show that's going to be 100% Mexican women. Actually, that's August 10th at Rockwood Music Hall at 10 p.m. And so we're really trying to form networks and support each other and uplift our music and cross-promote in our social media, you know. So you don't need a label anymore to do those kinds of things. And it's good with the advent of the internet that now we're getting to have sustainable careers and as Latin people support each other. And especially with this message of like, you know, social progress.
Yes, social progress, social consciousness, also the ability to just live as an individual and be who you're meant to be or who you feel you should be. And then there's also this division that's occurring politically that we're also combating.
Absolutely. And if we don't raise our voice, people always say, why do you want to talk about these things? And I'm like, I already have a microphone in front of me. I've chosen that. So to not talk about these things would be self-defeating. And it just feels like what needs to happen right now, especially in these political times.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I'm with you, sister. Yeah. All right, and you guys, don't go anywhere because we're going to take a quick break. But when we return, Renee, she's going to perform one of her singles for us. So don't go anywhere.